Hey guys, I'm JT. Welcome to JT Gaming, where we review your games and level up your skill.
Unit promoted.
Okay, so the first game we're going to look at is between Bush Pilot and Jimmy. So, just taking a look at this game, Bush Pilot does have a slight level advantage here. The other guy has these level 6 Fanatics, which is obviously a big disadvantage for him. It's wasting a unit slot. He shouldn't have that in his deck. It's not efficient. Anyway, let's take a look. So we're watching from Bush Pilot's perspective. Okay, so Bush opens with the Harvester, and opening barracks are likely going to go into Rocket Soldiers, which he does. So he's going to go Scout now, and most likely go for the Harvesters. Okay, so Bush's opened a War Factory. He's anticipating an infantry response. So he's going to be opening with a Pitbull, which is the appropriate thing to do at this situation. And we see a second Harvester now. It's obvious that why the other guy needs second Harvester. He has the Avatar in the deck. And now we see the opponent opening with laser squads to get rid of the Pitbull. But it looks like too little too late, as he's going to get that first Harvester. If I was Bush here, I would be opening a Shockwave to deal with the missile squads and the Flame Trooper. However, he does go for the APC. This is a beefy unit which can take hard control of the pads at the moment. Opens to the second one for the top left to the top right pad, sorry. And now he's gone for a Rhino, which is an interesting choice, although if he double teams units with the APC and the Rhino, that will easily take care of the opponent's units. However, he should be 2v1ing the Flame Squad here. And that's a nice turret placement, so that means he can't be 2v1 very easily by the opponent. And it looks like at this point Bush Pilot is going to be getting his first missile. Wow, that was very close. And Orcas are a perfect response to avatars. They're a hard counter and will deal with that avatar quite nicely. Might have to double team. And he's got another Harvester, so he is doing quite well economy wise, equaling someone who has double Harvesters. So far this is a very well played game by Bush Pilot. And he just keeps harassing those Harvesters. This is ultimately going to add up to being a distraction for Jimmy. Jimmy is, to be honest, too far behind, and I don't think he can come back from this. And even if he gets rid of that APC, it leaves behind a missile squad, so he still has the pad control. And this is GG. Well played, Bush Pilot. Anyway, on to our second game. Let's see how he does. Okay, so the next game is going to be Bush Pilot versus Swagasaurus. Let's take a look. Again, watching from Bush Pilot's perspective. He opens the Harvester as usual. And I'm guessing he's going to go into Cyber Wheels here, which he does. Usually open for a nod deck like this. And the other guy is scouting with the militants and has got the laser squads out to deal with the Cyber Wheels. Bush responds appropriately, double teaming the laser squads. And he's gone out with a chem buggy. This will easily deal with all of the infantry on field. This is the most appropriate response for sure. Okay, so he's got the bikes out, so he's most likely going to go harass the Harvester now. And now we see a second Harvester going onto the board. This is not surprising, as he has an Avatar and a lot of tech units in his deck. And these Marauders are going to easily deal with those vehicles. At this point, now that we have seen two Harvesters, it is really important for us to start charging the missile. because we know that once that tech gets onto the board, it is going to be really hard for us to come back. So we need to take an aggro strategy and start attacking, sorry, and start charging the pads. I mean, we should at least have one unit on the pad if we're going to harass the harvester anyway. But it does look like he's going all in, trying to get towards the harvester at this point. However, that's going to blow up all of the units there, and he kills his own harvester. However, that means that bush pilot does not get the bounty. Okay, so now we're finally going onto the pads. This is the appropriate thing we should be doing because we know he's going to have an economy advantage. And those Widowmakers are going to easily deal with our infantry units, so we need to go more vehicle-centric at this point. Having one Chem Warrior out on the board will be okay as long as we can protect it, perhaps on the very back pad, and then use that at a later point when we need to for a counter. Because if he gets a Widowmaker and a Cyborg onto one pad, you're going to be very hard pressed to counter it. However, we do take the first missile, and we now need to focus on getting the next missile or sending Chem Warriors towards the base and Chem Bugs towards the base and making that explosion happen to destroy the base. It does look like the opponent hasn't noticed the Chem Warriors at the bottom and they're going towards the base at this point. Okay, so he's going to make those clouds up, and he's got an avatar out. These will really damage those Chem Warriors quite quickly. However, he's got a missile out in time. Let's see how big this explosion is. Wow, that is quite big. And it looks like the avatar. That is spectacular. So, that was really well played, Bush Pilot. GG. And on to our third and final game. Okay, so the third and final game we're going to watch is between Bush Pilot and Shadow 007. Okay, so let's see if Bush Pilot can take on 007. Again, watching from Bush Pilot's perspective. Opening the harvester as we would normally expect and likely to be going into the missile squad open. Yep, and he's going to go scout and attack the harvester. He's got a game plan and he's sticking with it, and this is a good thing to do. Okay, so now we see that he has a double harvester open, so double teaming a harvester and taking out that economy ASAP is a good thing to do, and we should also be charging the pad with one unit at this point. The thing to do when someone has a double harvester is to either open a double harvester ourselves or go aggressive and immediately take pad control and charge that missile. We see Grenadiers coming down and they are going to cause some real problems for an APC, and teamed with a shockwave troop will deal with the rocket soldiers they leave over. We do have a level advantage, however, so those shockwave troopers won't be of much bother to us. Okay, and now we see a Talon. The APC will take care of that. However, he does micro that away, so we should probably get a missile squad out onto that bottom pad as well. And we get another harvester, so our economy is actually going quite well. However, moving that harvester down onto the bottom pad is going to delay us slightly. I don't know why 007 decided to iron cannon an APC. This is not an effective use of an iron cannon. Simply because an APC will leave behind those rocket soldiers, so it does not clear the pad. Okay, so now he's going to go and take care of the shockwave troopers. And the Grenadiers at the top have taken care of one of our harvesters, giving 007 a significant economy advantage at this point. We should be getting some shockwaves up there before we start building our next harvester, because we know it's just going to get destroyed like that, giving him even more economy advantage. Okay, so this Orca bomb is going to be quite problematic for us, dealing with our pads quite easily. However, at the moment it does look like we have some control, And that is a non-soft, non-hard counter that we're seeing here, because they're both air units that cannot attack each other. And the turret should be able to deal with the Orca Bomber unless the payload destroys it like it did in the end. Again, this ion cannon is just not effective. I don't feel like 007 is learning from his mistakes here. Probably quite like the real 007 sometimes. Okay, and we're now finally going onto the third pad on the left. He should be moving that across right now. Otherwise he's going to lose this missile, which he does. If he'd microed that shockwave onto the far left pad, he would have won this missile. This is an easily avoidable gaffe, I'm afraid. These APCs are such good units. They are so beefy. They're slow moving, but once they get onto those pads, they are really hard to shift. Okay, so we need to be getting some more shockwaves onto the pads at the moment to deal with the other shockwaves that the opponent has out, as we don't really have any other anti-infantry, or get a Rhino out. Because APCs are frankly too slow to chase after the shockwave troopers, and we want to leave them on pads for control. Just look how reckless 007 is with those ion cannons. On one unit, look at that negative Tiberium trade. I mean, that's 150 Tiberium to destroy 20 Tiberium unit. This is going to be something that just costs so many games for an opponent. And it looks like we're going to take this game at this point. Yeah, Bush Pilot is going to win this. Okay, so the rating that I'm going to give Bush Pilot is Commander, the second highest rating. He does do quite well in the games. However, there are a couple of gaffes that we see in the games, such as not microing the shockwave onto the pad in the last game, and not charging the missiles early enough in some of the in some of the games where we see that he has a economy disadvantage, such as when the two harvesters are out. Anyway, if you guys give your ratings in the poll at the top right of this video, that would be greatly appreciated, and leave any comments you like. I would love to hear from you. Okay, so have a good one.